All right, my friends, it's Tuesday, another tutorial, and today I thought we would continue what we've been working with and come into Warrior 2. So it's the second of the poses by number, and if you remember, Warrior 1 was about facing forward, hips facing forward, showing up in our present day life, looking at what's in front of us with our strength, with our understanding, with our will, to keep showing up. Warrior 2, we're going to open now to the side, or instead of facing our hips to the front of our mat, open to the side. So if we were just standing in mountain pose and we stepped back, dropped the heel, heel to arch alignment, we open to the long edge. I'm not standing on a mat today, but you get what I'm talking about. And so I want my hips open to that long edge. It can be difficult and challenging based off of our anatomy and the range of motion we have, that oftentimes, if I have my hands on my hips here, you can see, just like in Warrior 1, the hips tend to open to the side a bit instead of staying facing forward based on the positioning of our feet. But in Warrior 2, the same thing happens. Instead of opening all the way to the side, they want to be somewhat facing forward. Again, wrong or right, I'm not sure, but you need to determine that for yourself, for the goal in which you are working towards in your body and in life, and the way that it feels in the body, and then taking that into life. So generally, if we have front heel to back arch, that supports the hips to open. So if I just step my feet back and let my hips do whatever they want, based off of that foundation, they're again somewhat open. So here's where the work starts. If I engage muscle, hug from the floor into the pelvis, and then again try to get the hips in an anterior neutral tilt, that's going to help open the range of motion in both ball and socket joints. So if we look down the back leg and see where the hip bone is pointing and where it is aligning to the foundation of our foot, my voice is scratchy today. We want to bring that back so that the hip is in line with the ankle and not the big toe. And just see, by doing that, it opened my hips more to the side. I still have good sensation everywhere, including my lower back. Remember that the pelvis is the center of our body, and its positioning is going to affect not only what's happening in the legs, but also the spine, the lower spine particularly. So just by making that hip alignment shift, my hips opened up to more to the side. Oftentimes what will happen, since everything is connected, it's going to pull the front knee in with it. So the work there is to broaden it out, again, keeping sensation comfortable in our strength. We want to maintain that balance of effort and ease, comfort in our strength, not overexerting, not pushing past a place of comfort. The edge is different, whether we're thinking or feeling physically, energetically, emotionally, or spiritually. And that edge is different every day. But yoga is about uniting all of the layers and doing the work. So find the footing that supports your hips to open, generally heel to arch. Maybe it's heel to heel. Play with that. Also, the distance of how far they are away from each other will decide how much energy the front leg has to do to hold yourself up. Right? If it's longer, it's going to be a deeper lunge. It's going to ask more of the muscular endurance. So if I show you now side view, I'm going to do my other leg. I step my feet in a distance away from each other that feels strong and somewhat easy. Right? It's not effortless, but there's a sense of ease to it, not urgency to get out of it. Right? Then I check in heel to arch, it feels good. I look down the back leg, it's not popping forward, I'm going to bring it back. Look, my hips are facing the side. My knee is going to push against that. The energy is an inward spiral back thigh, outward spiral front thigh. The energy of the pose is moving forward. The gaze shifts forward. I want to look into the distance, into the future. My back arm can keep me aligned with who I've been, who I was, and how I changed to be here, this body today. And from my heart, I'm opening that line of thought, that contemplation. And it takes me into an understanding of not only who I am in the present and how I became that person, but how that information is going to take me forward more aligned to the future I'm destined to live. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Open to the side of the mat, open to who you are in the present moment. That information comes from understanding where you've been and it's going to guide you forward. All right, my friends, I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.